Anti-Semitic incidents in the United States are at the highest level since at least 1979. That is the chilling finding from the Anti-Defamation League's annual Audit of Antisemitic Incidents published this morning. The report finds incidents increased significantly over the past year, and that those happening on college campuses rose more steeply than in any other location. Joining me now to talk more about these findings is CEO and National Director of the ADL, Jonathan Greenblatt, who this week in the Time 100 issue is named one of the 100 most influential people in the world. I'll just throw that out there, Jonathan. But let's focus on this finding, because we have talked for the past several years as you've released this report, and it's been an increase. Last year it was a huge spike. They continue to trend higher. The explosion, I mean, you can see on the screen, we're putting up a graphic that really illustrates the data that you are putting out here over the past 2 years is stunning.
Yeah, I mean, look, Deanna, I feel like I say this every year, but we've never seen a moment like this. But the reality is, over the last decade, anti-Semitic incidents in America are up nearly 900%. And to think that after breaking the record last year, we did it yet again. But this is the 5th time in 6 years that we've shattered another ceiling. And we're talking about nearly 9,400 incidents in 2024, almost 200 acts of assault, more than 2,600 cases of vandalism, and more than 6,500 cases of harassment. And these are Jewish people being assaulted or molested or otherwise, intimidated in public spaces, on college campuses, in political environments, not because of something they've done, but just because of who they are, what they believe, and it's fundamentally un-American.
And you talk in this about something that we just see with our own eyes, which is that the anti-Semitic incidents on college and university campuses, that is what has spiked more than any other location. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about that, and especially as it relates to what we're hearing from the Trump administration, Jonathan, because they are cracking down on top universities on what they say is all about anti-Semitism on campuses. They froze more than $2.2 billion in federal funding for Harvard. And that prompted you to say, quote, resolving the very real crisis facing Jews on campus should not jeopardize the American system of higher education. Do you think the Trump administration is using anti-Semitism, which you point out is very real, especially on college campuses, but using that to crack down on elite universities that it just doesn't like?
Okay, so there are a few things to kind of unpack here, Deanna. So number one, let's just underscore, anti-Semitism is a crisis, it's a catastrophe that has not gotten nearly enough attention from the very institutions where it's happening. Again, at ADL, we issue an annual report card grading colleges and universities, and they, for too long, failed to deal with this issue in a strategic, systematic way. So let's acknowledge that, number one. Number two, let's also acknowledge that the federal government, which is pumping billions of dollars into higher education, has the right to expect some degree of accountability from them. We've seen, the U.S. government demand it with law enforcement agencies, with other institutions. They're pressing here, and that is long overdue. Now, at the same time, let's also admit that I think there are ways you can tackle anti-Semitism. You can go at this cancer without killing the victim, if you will. So, for example, our system of higher ed, it's the envy of the world. It fuels innovation. It enables economic prowess. It is so important to our scientific leadership on the planet. I don't want to obliterate the whole thing. So I think there's a way with specific strategic measures that you can get to the root causes of anti-Semitism, and the federal government has a role to play, but I worry about the overreach that, again, could kill the golden goose, if you will.
And the Trump administration is also arresting international students, revoking some of their visas. You have been really clear that due process is essential. You have said that it's not even remotely clear that this has been the standard. What is the ADL doing to pressure the White House to give students who are being arrested due process?
Well, look, at the ADL, it's our job to protect the Jewish people. We're not sort of public defenders for some of the Hamasniks on these college campuses, and I don't want to be. And I think I really need to say that. If you take Mahmoud Khalil, who was one of the ringleaders at Columbia, based on his conduct, we thought he was a very problematic individual. I don't know if he lied on his visa application or anything like that, but on his conduct, not his speech. The challenge becomes when the administration doesn't substantiate or clarify the specifics of the charges. So that's where this due process thing comes into the works. Now, again, it's not my job at ADL to provide due process for some of these young people.
No, but you have a very big megaphone.
We do, and so we want the individuals who are behind groups that support foreign terror organizations dealt with. We think there should be accountability when people commit violative behavior and conduct. But if you're going to tackle someone on speech or their ideas, you better clarify, you better substantiate so everyone understands. And I think if the administration does that, they'll have all people of good faith on their side.
Jonathan Greenblatt, thank you so much for being here.